As I said, our topic is bird migration, and my first question was, where do you go when you're hungry? And I think we agree that you go to the kitchen and straight to the fridge. And then I asked you another question, where do you go when you're feeling cold? And when given these this choice of two rooms, I think you agree with me that you go to the one on the right where there's the fireplace, the cat, and the carpet. Definitely not the one on the left where there's the wind coming in and the rain and the snow and looks really freezing. So animals get hungry too, but they don't find ready-made food in the kitchen like you do. They have to look for and find their food. So you can see the different animals there. All animals have the same needs. They're catching, finding, looking for the food. Definitely not ready-made. And there's the thing about feeling cold too. And food is not easy to find because it all depends on the seasons. We all know that most flowers open in spring. And this is when bugs and bees and butterflies are happiest. In summer, it's too hot for bugs and bees and butterflies. Fruit has already come out as well. Autumn is getting cold. You won't find these things. So what happens? Many insects die in winter or hide away, ants, like ants do when they go underground. And most trees do not have fruit or berries. Uh-oh, now where are birds going to find their food? In winter, birds have to stay out in the cold and the snow and the wind, and they do feel cold, It's all right for us because we can stay inside and wear thick clothes, switch on the heater and all that. But a bird can't do this. Oh, that looks really cold. Look at that nice juicy bucket of worms. Wouldn't it be just delicious if they could? Let's take a look at the life of a swallow. This little swallow is very easy to recognize. Can you see the tail there? It's forked. It's like a fork with two bits. Very easy to recognize because of that. It flies through the air, open beak, snatching mosquitoes and other insects. And that's probably why they call it a swallow. Makes sense, eh? Here he is as a little bird with his brothers and sisters in the nest. The nest was on a farm in Europe. Right in the middle, perfect place. Good weather. That's Europe. Can you see that boot shape? That's Italy. That tells you you're in Europe. And where the red dot is, that's where the swallow was born and where it had its nests. But now it's winter and they must leave this place or die of cold and hunger. But where can they go? It must be somewhere warm and sunny. But where? Must be somewhere far away from this winter weather. It must be somewhere where there will be insects and new leaves, caterpillars, berries, fruits and flowers. Let's see. Something like this. Yes. Where is this? Exactly. That's it. That's Africa. That's the perfect place. And that's where they must go. Of course, to get to Africa, they must fly all the way there. This is called migration. Sounds easy, right? Not quite. There's a long way to go, and who knows what can happen on the way. Can you see Europe? On the left there. And all that sea in the middle? Africa's on the right. And the arrow has to take them all the way there. And what's that island in the middle? Yeah, that's it. It's us. It's Malta, right there in the middle of the flyway. And why is that so important? Well, if you were a bird and you had to cross all the way from Europe to Africa, you'd have to cross over mountains and rough seas. Just look at those waves. And the desert. Ouch, that looks really hard, dry. And how are they going to get over these problems? Well, Some birds can swim, like these ducks. If these ones get tired, they can just stop in the sea and rest. But other birds like flamingos, eagles, house martins, and all these birds, storks, they can't. They can't swim, so they won't make it if they get tired, because they'll stop and, well, you know, they can't swim. Luckily, there are islands on the way. Ah, good. Here they can stop and rest. And our own little island of Malta is one of these places. Many birds stop in Malta during migration. These herons are resting during migration in Malta. Can you imagine how hungry and tired they must be? And how happy they must be to find a place where they can finally rest? Wouldn't it be nice for us to let these travelers get a good rest while they're our guests? Remember, they still have a long way to go. But sometimes people forget to be kind. They cut trees. They build up places where before there might be countryside and the bird would go for a place that they remember, and then they find buildings. They trap birds. They make loud noises. They have so many lights all the time. They shoot birds. They throw away plastic and it gets all around us and ties us up and we can't fly. And they are so dirty. They're always throwing things into the air and choking us. But not all the birds that leave for Africa make it, but many have a good rest in our little island and a good lunch, and they're now ready to cross the sea again to reach Africa. Oh no, another huge problem, the Sahara Desert. A huge, dry, hot place full of sand with hardly anything to eat. You must really be strong to cross the desert and stay alive. Not easy. Amazingly, many birds make it to the other side. This is where they will spend the winter, with food and the right kind of weather, until the season changes again and it gets too hot and too dry and the food starts getting less and less and they have to fly all the way back again. Can you see the pink arrows? These are called migration flyways, and one of them passes right over Malta, back up to Europe, and the little islands that lie in between are so important. And you know what? And this is why we chose the topic migration today. It's happening right now. We are in spring. And as we speak, all types of birds at this very moment are flying over our islands and settling here for a quick rest and maybe some lunch before flying up to Europe. Will you remember to be kind to our flying guests? So,